Hi, everybody. What's going on my page turned blue? Okay. Um, this is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, let's undo that. Booger. There we go. But now you went away? Okay, you guys are there. I don't know if I can move this or not. I've never used this program before, but I'm gonna try it today. It's a little weird for me because I'm not used to having my picture. I can't move it around and stuff. That's kind of like it's turned blue again. I didn't know what to do with that. It's weird. Okay, never mind. Okay, so different program that I'm going to try. I actually think the video was a lot clearer, but we're going to do the second part of the human body review for biology. And what we're going to be doing here is looking at the different body systems and kind of going through some of the questions that are going to be asked on the test to make sure that you understand what's going on here. So endocrine system, this is the part that is going to regulate your hormones in your body. And no, not all hormones are sex hormones, only some of them are. It includes growth hormones like the human growth hormone, development, which we do talk about a lot of sex hormones with that, the estrogen and the testosterone and stuff that kind of have a role in growth and development, and metabolism, including like your thyroid hormones, the T3, T4, and thyroid stimulating hormones. Those are affecting your metabolism. What hormones are produced by the adrenal gland and how do they make you feel? You have norepinephrine and adrenaline that's produced by the adrenal gland, and they make you feel excited and kind of wired and scared and nervous and anxious. Because that's the whole point of those. That's the flight or fight response that you have that kind of increases your heart rate. It makes your breathing kind of more rapid. It makes you focused and pay attention so that you can get out of a scary situation. A target cell is a cell that is going to have a protein receptor on it to receive that hormone. Hormones are just kind of special kinds of proteins. And not every cells are target cells because they don't all have the correct receptors. Integumentary system, why would acne be treated with an antibiotic? Because you can get an infection in your pores and it can actually kill that bacteria that's in the pore. Hair, skin, and nails are part of the integumentary system. Musculoskeletal, axial and appendicular skeleton. Well, your axial skeleton is your skull, your breastbone or your sternum here, your vertebral column. It kind of gives everything else support. It's the thing that holds it all together. And then the appendicular skeleton are the appendages of these, such as your long bones, your arms and your legs and your tarsals and metatarsals of your hand and the long bones of your legs, your pelvic bones, your hip bones, carpals and metacarpals and tarsals and metatarsals. I mix those two up. Those are your toes. What is a skeleton of an embryo mostly made of? That's cartilage. What do ligaments hold together in a joint? Ligaments hold bone to bone. Tendons hold tendon to bone. Okay. Or excuse me, tendons hold muscle to bone. Muscle to bone for tendons. What type of muscles control the dilation of your pupils? Those are smooth muscles. Smooth muscles do that. Those are involuntary. What does the skin excrete? It excretes oils, and we call it sebum, and it excretes sweat as well. Like that's part of the excretory system. It's getting rid of like things like extra salts, some urea, carbon dioxide, heat, water. The glomerulus of the kidneys does what? I'm going to show you a picture of the glomerulus because it's a little easier to describe it when you can see it. Glomerulus. Okay. So it's part of the kidneys. It's part of the loop of Henle. This is where the majority of the water gets put back into your blood from the, dirty blood. I want to find a better picture. All right, here we go. So just let me bring this guy over to the screen. So here we have the glomerulus. This is the dirty blood. This is a very kind of simple picture because there's way more blood vessels involved than this. But the water is being, either put back into the blood or it's going, through this tube to the urine. So this is the dirty stuff coming out. And then the clean stuff continues on through the loop of Henle. But the loop of Henle is a bit more complicated than that. This is a better picture. It's really small though, so you can see the glomerulus is just the beginning of the loop of Henle. So a lot of water gets reabsorbed here, and that can go to your pee or to your bloodstream. And then as it continues through the loop of Henle, it's continually either exchanging water and impurities with, the impurities go into the tube that goes to your bladder, and then the clean stuff goes back into this blue renal vein and goes back to your blood supply. So it cleans your blood. That's the whole point of it, right? Okay, so somehow I've lost myself. Oh, there I am. Okay. Next is the excretory. Oh, we did that. The respiratory system. How does the move of the rib cage change air pressure in the cavity? So when you breathe in, your diaphragm actually contracts and it pushes your lungs and rib cage up. And these muscles between your ribs are called intercostal muscles. They're contracting and they're spreading the rib cage apart, increasing the volume in your lungs. When you breathe out, it relaxes the diaphragm, which actually, kind of opens that space up a little bit. Your lungs are no longer pushed up, they fall down, and your intercostal muscles relax, but it decreases the space in your rib cage, which actually squeezes the air out. What are the alveoli and how do capillaries work with the alveoli and gas exchange? The alveoli are those little air sacs in your lungs. And alveoli are going to have a lot of little, they have little capillaries around them like this. And so dirty blood, again, blood that has carbon dioxide in this case in it, is going to come in through the pulmonary artery. I'm going to make sure I remember this one. Comes into the pulmonary artery, and then the carbon dioxide, it's a higher concentration here than here, so carbon dioxide is going to filter across into the alveoli, and oxygen, which has a higher concentration here, is going to filter this way, into the little capillaries, and that'll go back to the lungs to be pumped to the rest of the body because it'll be high in oxygen. That's kind of the idea there. Nervous system, we kind of talked a bit about classification of neurons already. We can look at chemoreceptors, photoreceptors, thermoreceptors, and mechanoreceptors. These are primarily going to be types of receptors that I don't think I'm going to look at that one too much because these are primarily kind of lesser developed types of cells that we find in like lower animals. I don't want to find that, okay? The difference between autonomic and somatic, well, autonomic is involuntary and somatic is voluntary, okay? The difference between central and periphery, we talked about, controls the information flow. Those are your interneurons. The neuromuscular junction, that's going to be kind of another gap that's between a muscle cell and a neuron. And I'm going to have to be done with this, I guess, even though we didn't have time to go through the next two systems. I guess I'll have to have a third video real quick to go through the next two systems. All right, watch the next video clip, guys.